All right. Not sure if my stream is going yet. Looks like it is. This is my very first live stream, y'all. So I've just gotten to where I've worked out everything with the audio, the streams, got my thumbnail set up, all of that good stuff. So, very first live stream ever. As far as live mixing goes, I've gone live on like Instagram and stuff like that from my phone, but this is my first time live streaming from my computer. So it's going to be a new experience for me. Hopefully, I can get everything right. Um, Today, I'm going to be mixing a song from start to finish, like I haven't even created the project or anything in my DAW. So you're going to get to see kind of all of that just from start to finish. So what I can tell you just starting out from where we are so far is that I produced the song, I produced the beat. The client, his name is Sibin. He's one of my Nepali clients, and so this is a Nepali song. Essentially, the way that this project worked out is that he wrote a song and he kind of recorded it on his phone. Like he just pulled up like voice note recorder, and he gets his guitar and he sings the song from start to finish essentially, and then he sends that to me as the demo. And then from there, I produce all of the music, get it back to him, make sure it's all good. And then once everything's cool, then we go ahead and we record vocals. So then we do the studio stuff and record vocals. So where we are right now is that he has come to the studio session and we recorded the vocals. I think that there's been a bit of a difference in the way that he recorded the song when he sent it to me as a sample versus how he recorded it when we went to the studio. So there may end up being like a follow-up session where we go back to the studio and record some more vocals. And that's just kind of how it is sometimes. Usually the first run of recording vocals when you're producing a song from scratch in any case, is that you're going to kind of record it one time, then you're going to want to change some things or try to nail some parts a little bit better. And so then we end up having like a second session. So that may end up happening, and that's just part of the process. So today what we're going to go ahead and do, though, is we're going to start from the top with what I've got so far. I haven't created the project yet. I haven't uploaded the files, anything. You're going to kind of get to see everything. So even if there's problems or anything like that, you're kind of going to get to see that process and how it all folds out. So we'll see where we get on it today. And if we end up getting stuck somewhere, excuse me, a little bit tired. If we end up getting stuck somewhere or have to come to a stopping point, then we'll go ahead and stop right there. And then we'll pick it back up at a later time when we either get more vocals recorded or when we do some edits, whatever it is. I'll try to live stream everything for this project. So again, this is a project that I produced. So I do have all of the rights to share the song and whatnot, things of that nature. It's one of my own productions. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump on in. I'm going to go ahead and switch to a different view, and we're going to get started. I will be using Cakewalk by BandLab. That's the DAW that I use. I've been using it ever since it used to be Sonar. So Cakewalk, BandLab actually owns Cakewalk now. The software is called Cakewalk, but this same exact software back in the day used to be called Sonar, and it was owned by a company that was called Cakewalk. And Cakewalk essentially went out of business, and they sold the licensing of this software to actually Gibson. Ended up buying the software, and then Gibson ended up kind of going bankrupt and whatever. And so now BandLab owns the license to this software, and so now they call the software Cakewalk, I guess, as a homage to the original company that developed this software. So Cakewalk is the name of the current software, but that's also the name of the company that initially designed this software, and at that time it was called Sonar. But I've used Sonar for years. Sometimes I still end up calling it Sonar. And one of the studios that I used to work at back in the day, which was a very popular studio, they also used Sonar too. And so that was one of the reasons I ended up working at that studio, is because I'd already been working with Sonar for years. And I had a client who had been recording at that studio who had some problems with their projects. And just by chance, we were using the same software, Sonar. So I ended up just going to work at that studio for a couple of years, and I'm still using that same software to this day. I believe they're still using the same software to this day. And of course, Pro Tools is a good software too, but there's a lot of hype in there. Their marketing is really good to where they make people think that like Pro Tools is the standard, and it's definitely not. All of the DAWs essentially can do the same things. It's about if you know how to use the software or not, and all of the functions. So since I've been using Sonar for years and years and years, I'm extremely fast with it. I've already got like good templates set up and whatnot, and I'm one of the producers in Dallas that stays busy and does a lot of work. So most people never even ask what software I use. They've heard about me from somebody else and they book a session, or they've heard about me from somebody else and they send me stuff to mix. Very seldom does somebody ask me, well, what software do you use? And usually the second somebody asks me that, I already know, like, okay, this is somebody who's probably like heard about Pro Tools, and they think that, oh, if you don't use Pro Tools, you're not a professional. And usually that already tells me I'm dealing with somebody who is not very educated in the music production field. Because if you've fallen for that hype in that marketing, then you really don't know anything about producing, because the software literally is the least of your worries. The biggest thing for your quality is going to be the microphone that you use, quality cables that don't pick up any outside static or outside noise, good quality mic pre's. Your interface is going to be very important, but most interfaces these days have high quality ADDA converters. In fact, even the cheapest audio interfaces out today have better ADDA converters than the original Pro Tools when Pro Tools first came out back in the day, late 80s, early 90s. And I've been recording even since then. So I can tell you, software does not matter. Your hardware does matter a bit. But as long as you've got a good quality microphone, preamps that don't make any noise, cables that don't pick up any noise, then you're pretty much going to be good to go. At that point, it's going to be a matter of knowledge, and if you know how to mix or not, and if you know how to use tools like compressors. Like, people don't even know how to use compressors. There's a lot of hobbyists that will pull up a compressor and they go through the presets and they choose a preset that just they like the way it sounds or something like that, and they have no idea what an attack time is, a release time, the ratio, the knee. They don't know what any of that stuff actually is doing to the audio, as to where a professional like myself or other music production professionals, we know how to use those tools actually to go for the sound that we're looking for, as opposed to choosing one from a preset. So if I hear something raw, in my head, I can already kind of hear how it's supposed to sound, and I know what knobs to turn to make that happen without using presets. So we're going to drink a little beer today. We're going to start mixing on this project. We're going to see how far we can get. There's going to be a lot of selection between clips as well. So what we did at the recording session is we basically... I had the client just record the song start to finish 5 times through. So I'm going to have 5 full takes. And then we also went and touched up like the last parts of each line where you hold a note out, stuff like that. And I had him redo some of that stuff. So we've got some audio to choose from. Again, it may still result in a follow-up recording session to do more fine-tuning with that. And that's just a common thing. right? So it happens. So if that does happen today, then that's just how it is, and we just keep moving forward from there. So that being said, you never know how far you are going to get with the first mix session, and we're just going to go as far as we can with what we've got and see where we get. And if everything works out, we could end up with a complete project today. So my time right now, it's 6:38 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I've started this live right about 6:30, a little bit before 6:30, because I was wanting to make sure that the stream is working correctly. It appears that it is. Again, it's my first stream, so it might not be working at all right now, and I would have no clue. But I'm going to assume that it is working because it does show me a stream time on OBS. Seems like it's working to me. So let's go ahead and dive in. So let me switch views here, and we're going to go ahead and pull up Cakewalk. So I did have a project going just as a test, just to make sure that everything would work out with the audio and whatnot. But we're going to close that, and we're going to go ahead and just start brand new from this project now. And hopefully everything works. Like I said, this is my first time ever streaming a live mix. So let's get to it. So this song, the title of it, I know this is 87 beats per minute. I'm going to go ahead and set that. The client is Sibin Adhikari. He's a Nepali person. So his name is Nepali. The song title, I think that he's changed it from how he had the file named when he sent it to me, but I'm still just going to call it whatever he sent it when he sent it to me, which was South Cooper Street. And if he wants to change the official title when we release the song and put it online for streaming and stuff like that, then we just change the file name at that time. But at this point, the title doesn't matter too much. Excuse me. All right, so let's rock and roll. Opening up new project right now. I did also recently install a new hard drive, and so because of that, a lot of my the locations of files and settings ended up getting moved around. So I'm hoping that everything still works properly. This is also going to be my first time mixing something since installing my new hard drive. So we're going to hope that it all works out. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do, now again, this is a project that I produced. So I do have all of the track outs for the beat, as well as I've got all of the voice. So all of these you can see like in groups here. These are all groups that I have set up for vocals. And then this one, a lot of times when people come to the studio, they just have kind of a beat already made, like either a WAV file or an MP3 or something like that. And so I usually only need one track for the beat. But when I'm mixing a project where I do have the stems, the first thing that I'm going to go ahead and do is just take this channel, and I'm just going to duplicate it like 20 times just to have a whole bunch of these available. And now from there, I'm going to go ahead and import the actual the stems for the beat, which let me locate those. It's going to be Major Media Studios. I'm not sure if I put them here in their proper place, because sometimes I don't. We're going to hope that it's already tracked out here somewhere, though. And maybe it's not. Okay, so potentially I don't have the track outs already tracked out from the project, so you may get to see me do that as well. So let's go ahead and we're going to open Reason, which is the program that I use generally to make the beats. And probably the locations of these files has changed as well. So hopefully I'll be able to pretty quickly find the project, or maybe it's just going to automatically when I hit open. Nope, not there anymore. Okay, so let's do File, Open. All right, so this is the basic track. So we'll go ahead and we will say export or bounce mixer channels. We're going to want to select all of them, but then down here we can get rid of these. We don't need these. I will keep the master section just because it makes it easier to line everything up. I'm going to say song start to finish, or we could say loop. I usually do just loop left to right because I always set my loop points on the project. Bounce to, we're going to say audio files on disk. Apply mixer settings, we're going to say none, and we're going to say normalize. I don't want any of the effects that I used while making the beat. I don't want any of those actually on the files when I track it out, because I'm going to do all that in the mix. So I don't want those already kind of pre-applied to the audio. I don't want anything applied to the audio as much as possible. So we'll do no mixer settings. You know what, actually too, let me just go to each one of these and just make sure that I don't have any other effects that I don't want on there. All of these, we're going to bypass any kind of reverbs or anything. Oh, don't know if you could hear my stomach growling, but my stomach's growling. I haven't eaten yet today. Okay, so I think those were the only effects that I had on. There was a couple of reverbs, and I tend to do that just because sometimes I just don't like to hear everything dry. So let's go ahead and even though I don't do like a full-on reverb, I'll just throw or a full-on mix, I'll throw a reverb on it or something like that. Okay, so let's do again. We're going to do bounce mixer channels. We're going to check all. We're going to do loop. And we're going to do none and normalize. Wave file 44.1 16-bit depth. We're going to do dither. And we're going to go OK. It's going to ask us where do we want to do it. We're going to do, nope, not that. We're going to do the 8 terabyte. Oh, it's already choosing some kind of location, but I don't think it's the correct location. Major Media Studios, Beats for Sale, Trackouts, and we're going to call this 2025 0316 Sibin, Adhikari, South Cooper Street. And we'll hit OK. All right, so it's going to take just a second to do that. It's going to render those down. Perfect time to take a sip of beer. Normalizing. My stomach is growling again. Yeah, I guess I should have ate something before I started. Okay, so it looks like it's done rendering down those files. So now I'm going to go ahead and back in Cakewalk, I'm going to go back to Beats for Sale, and there should be a folder here that says Trackouts, sort it by date, and it should be at the top. Yep, here it is. Okay, so we'll grab all of these. When I import audio, you don't see me go to any menus. That's just because I have a hotkey set up. I just hit I on my keyboard for import, and then it asks me what files I want to import. There's more audio channels than I thought. That was exactly 21. Wow. Okay, well, so I'm going to need some more channels now, because I'm still going to need to now import the files from the recording session where we got his vocals. So I'm going to actually duplicate more tracks here. I'm just going to make another like 15 or something. I don't think it was more than that. And let's do import again. I believe I've got these on the desktop in a folder called, yep, Trackouts from Young Red Studio. Shout out to my guy, Young Red Productions. We actually went to his studio over at his house. Actually, he's got a really nice shed set up in his backyard. So it's a separate building out in his backyard, and we cut vocals over there for this project. All right, so let's hit open. Hopefully these are all spaced properly how they're supposed to be. We'll know soon enough. Okay, so if these have some blank spots in the front, then I know that we're good to go, because then it lets me know that these are where they're supposed to be location-wise. So that looks like that's all of the files that we'll need. So I've got an extra track here. I'm just going to go ahead and delete that one, delete that track. Now the first thing that I'm going to do is organize everything. So I'm going to start on track 1. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so that I can read the titles on the files. And then I'm going to just name all of my tracks, everything. So the Ampeg flip top, I'm not going to call it that. I'm just going to call it bass, because that's what that is. Audio track 2 copy, I don't know what that is. It might even be empty. So when I zoom out, I can see the whole thing, and it doesn't look like there's actually anything on that. So this one is just an empty track. I'm going to delete it. This one also looks like it's an empty track. I'm going to delete it. I'm going to delete all the empty tracks real quick. Let me just kind of zoom all of them real big so I can see if they're empty or not. All 3 of these are empty. Delete. Here's another empty one. We'll delete that. See, these ones where the audio starts at the beginning, these are worrying me. I don't know if these are actually where they're supposed to be or not. Because there shouldn't be a whole bunch that just start at the start like that. I think like maybe this is supposed to be like over here or something like that, and maybe they didn't get exported where they're supposed to be. So that does worry me. But then see, like this one, it's got the blank spot in front of it, and it is where it's supposed to be. So I guess we're going to find out. Okay, but so now that I've got everything supposedly lined up, and I've got the tempo set to the same tempo as the actual project, which is 87 beats per minute. Usually the first thing that I go ahead and do, I'm going to grab everything and I'm going to move it 1 bar forward. I'm going to make sure that my grid is set to move by 2, because you can move by also. You can either move to a measure or by a measure. So I'm going to move to the measure, all of them. And then now I'm going to say move to marker, and I'm just going to get one of them. And, well, actually, I can probably grab all of them. and I'm gonna just move them to this little marker at the front here. And what that does is it gives you just like a moment of silence before, like when you press play, it'll give you just a moment of silence before the first note hits. That way you don't have a really abrupt start or anything like that. And again, now since I got rid of all my empty tracks, I'm going to get back to naming everything. I still need to name everything. So this one, Concert Grand Piano, I'm just going to say piano. Piano. This one is crash. Cymbal. This one is hi-hats. This is the kick. This one is master section. This one is ride cymbal. This is rim shot. This one is slow string chorale. This one says choir, which is just a sample. It's not an actual choir. This is the snare. This one is Vox. Tambourine. Tambourine 2. Okay, so now these are the guitar parts. Guitar, mic 1, guitar, mic. This is 3. Oh, I see what's happened here. So probably he grouped the mic'd guitars and the guitar line in. So generally when I record acoustic guitar, I'm going to have it plugged in if it's electric, and I'm going to have it microphoned, and I'm going to record both of those sources at the same time. Generally, when you have it plugged in, the signal that you get from that, it's a little bit fuller and a little bit more bassy, but it usually lacks like the clarity at the top end, as to where a microphone generally sounds a little bit thinner. It's got more clarity on the top end, and it might not be as bassy. So usually I record both of those sources when I'm recording acoustic guitar, which I did record acoustic for this as well. So for each take, and I'm going to have a center, left, and a right, but so for each of those, I'm going to have a microphone and a line, a microphone and a line, and a microphone and a line. So there's going to be 6 guitar tracks altogether. And just by the way that these are ordered, I think maybe he might have grouped them by type, by either microphone or by line in. So let's say guitar plug, guitar plug 1. So all of these, it looks like he named them like verse 2, verse 3, verse 1. When the project is finished, it's just going to sound like one voice. So I'm not actually going to be using these as separate pieces like that. I'm just going to go through them all and find the best sounding takes, and then they're all going to get moved to a master channel, or a master vocal channel. And then that one vocal channel is what will be used for the final product. I guess for this process, maybe I should switch up my OBS view to where you can see just the edit screen. Maybe I can move my OBS over here. Thank you guys for bearing with me again. This is my very first live stream. So, still getting a little experience in with all of that. All right, so there we go. So now you can see my edit screen better, at least, as opposed to showing all 4 sections. So let's keep naming these files. This one says verse 3 also. Oh, I see. This one says verse 3 punch. This one says verse 4. No verse 4 though, actually. Verse 5. Or I think he's just naming them by the take that we did, which maybe makes more sense. And last one here says verse punch also. Okay, so now I'm going to zoom out a little bit. There's a function on Cakewalk where you can zoom in the waveforms just so you can see them better. It doesn't change volume or anything like that. It just, like, if I want to see this one bigger, I can like zoom in or out on it just like that, just so you can see it bigger. Again, this doesn't affect the volume or anything like that. It's just a zoom on the waveform itself so you can see what you got. So some of the smaller ones, I do end up zooming them in a bit just so I can see kind of what I've got there. But if I can see them pretty good, then I'm good to go. And I'm just zooming them in now just so you can kind of see that function. But okay, so we've got everything labeled here. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to group everything. So the stream is already in about 30 minutes right now, a little bit more than 30 minutes. I started off talking a bit, but we're maybe just about 10 minutes into, maybe 20 minutes into doing work. And all we've gotten so far is we've got the files imported and we've got them labeled. So now the next thing that I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to group everything. So usually the way that I like to organize stuff is I like to have the drums be the first thing. So if I move over here to show you my mix screen, generally on my mix screen, what I like to do is I like to have all the drums on the left side, and then I get into instruments and then vocals. So drums, instruments, vocals is the way that I like to line it up. And then besides that is I like to have the bassier stuff on the left and then the less bassy stuff towards the right. So the very first channel that I usually have over here is going to be the bass itself, and then I'll have the kick drum, then the snare, and then hi-hats and cymbals and whatnot, and then I'll get into instruments, and it'll be like pianos, violins, stuff like that. So it's grouped first by the percussive stuff, and I include the bass as a percussive instrument, but really it's just because it's the bass, so it's going to be the furthest to the left for me, and then left to right in groups, bassiest to less bassy, and then instruments is going to be bassy to less bassy. And then vocals, I just do it by, as if I scroll over here, you'll see my templates. So the first 2 groups here, I generally have like for hook vocals. In this case, it's going to just be one vocal track all the way through. So I'm probably not going to use any of these. These are just part of my standard template when I open up a project or create a project. Because a lot of times when people are coming to record, so see, usually I'm not doing mixes like this. Usually people are coming to record and they've already just got like a MP3 of a beat or a WAV file of a beat, and I don't even end up mixing the beat because they don't have stems for it. It's just like an MP3 or a WAV file, and we're just recording vocals. So I have different channels set up, and I have them like on the hook. I'll have them do a center, a left, and a right, and they might also do like some highlights left and right on the hook. So there's like a few more channels for the hook groups than there are for the main vocal groups. But for the main vocal groups, it's going to be a center, Then I have a center stack in case they want to do just a stack, or they can do a left and right highlights. And then I have an ad lib track. And whatever one it is that they're wanting to record next, then that's what we do. Like, all right, you're going to cut your verse now? Boom, it's going to be this channel, and I'll arm that to record. And then it's like, you going to do highlights, or do you want to do a stack? They're like, let me stack it. I'm like, okay, boom, there's your stack. We're going to record onto there. And then they want to do highlights. I usually try to talk them into doing left and right for the highlights. So I have one left, one right, and we'll record the first one, and then we'll record the right side, and then we'll do ad libs, right? So I've already got these groups just set up here. But in this case, we're not going to really use all of these. There's just going to be the main channel of audio. So it's all going to end up going into this channel here, which is currently channel 44. But first, let's go ahead and get all of this stuff organized. Once I do have everything organized, I'm going to color code it. And actually, I may color code it on the front end. So let's just like multi-select this. So if I hold the control button, I can multi-select other stuff, you see? And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab everything that's going to be like a drum sound. There's the rim shot. These are strings, choir, snare, vox, tambourine, and guitar. So then these are all the files that we got from Young Red. So all of these, now if I move them once, they'll all kind of group together. They'll move together, and now I'm going to change all of these to red. So now I've got my percussions grouped by red. All of these, I'm going to send the outputs straight to the master, the mixdown channel. And then all of the instruments are going to go to the channel that says beat right here. So all of these, over here on this side, you see there's this divider line here. This is the master channel. This is the final mixdown channel. And then all of these are subgroups that feed into the master channel. So all the drums are going to go straight into the mixdown channel. All the instruments are going to go into this channel, which feeds into the mixdown. So I can turn it up or down as a group. And then for each one of the vocal groups that I have, the yellow group goes into the yellow group, the orange group goes into the orange group, and then so you see how that works. And they all feed into that. And then I've also got my bus for my reverb and a bus for delay separately. And all of my templates are already set up to where all of the vocal channels already feed into the reverb and the delay bus, and I can adjust how much they feed in here if I want a contrast between one channel versus the other, and also I can turn up or down the feed here. This last channel I just use for a metronome. The metronome feeds directly into this channel, so we can hear a metronome. I'll just have to unmute it if we want to hear it in the metronome. Essentially, the metronome is always on, but I usually just have it muted. Okay, so next step, let's get all of the instruments together. So here's piano, strings, choir, vox, which is a sample as well, guitar mic, guitar, and then punch and verse. So then all of these are his vocals. So here's all of the instruments. Again, I'm going to just move it once, and they should all group together. Oop. There we go. And I'm going to color code these all green. All right, now I've kind of got it all grouped together, but now the next thing is that I want to put these guitar parts together with themselves. So you can see like this one and this one are the same length. Probably these two are together. We'll move that to the top. And it looks like we're missing one more guitar part. I think we might be missing one guitar part. these master section ones, I'll just move them all the way up to the very top and I'll just mute them out. All right, so for the very first time, we're going to press play on something. Oh, and I believe I've got to, for you to hear the sound, I need to install another plugin real quick here. And we'll make sure that it works after I do that. Yep, so you're getting sound. Okay, so there is one guitar part there. I think maybe these two are the same as well. Oh, actually, so I think these two, because this one says mic 1, this one says plug 1, mic 1. Yeah, mic 3, plug 3, mic 1, plug 1. And then this one just says plug, but we're missing the guitar that just says mic. So we are missing one file. So I am going to end up reaching back out to Young Red on that and see if he can export that last file. Real quick though, I am going to just duplicate one more track here. And I'm going to go to the files that I have from him. Let's see. So we're missing guitar plug. So the one I'm missing is the one that should say guitar mic without a 1 or 3 behind it. It should just say guitar mic. So I am going to just hopefully, I'm going to go back to import. I'm going to go to the folder that I got from him. Oh, look, yeah, I do have it here. So maybe for some reason or another, it just didn't come in with the rest of everything. Or maybe I deleted it by accident when I was first importing everything. So we do have everything now. So guitar, there's plug, and then mic. Okay, cool. So then let's mark this one as green as well. Plug, mic, boom. Okay, so we've got everything. So now what's going to end up happening is for these guitar parts, you can see that they're not as long as the rest of the song here, right? The chords, the chord progression, it just repeats for the whole duration of the song. So I don't really, I forgot to change you back to the edit screen. I apologize for that. So I was just pointing at some stuff for you and you didn't even see what I was doing over there. But the chord progression, it's the same chords throughout the entire song. So I don't really need to play the guitar the full way through the song to have it. I just need to have one good set for each side. And then I just loop those, right? So for each one of these, I just played until I felt like I had one good run, and then I should be good, right? So from each of these, I'm just going to take those samples, and then I'll just loop them all the way through the entire song. All right, so we're going to take a quick break. I will put you on... That's not what I was trying to do. Sorry, guys. Trying to get it worked out for you. All right, so just going to take a quick restroom break, and we'll be right back in just about a minute. All right, we are back. So at this point now, I can start hitting the play button and seeing what I've got. I know that from the sample that he recorded on his phone, just using the voice note app, from that sample that he gave me to what we recorded in the studio the other day at our session, I think that he sang it a little bit different, and he didn't include some parts that he did at the end on the sample he didn't do in the studio. So there's going to be some differences. And as we go along, I'm going to be listening to the sample that he sent me and comparing it against what I've got from the studio, just to make sure that everything lines up. And that the song is in the same format as the way that we recorded it, or as the way that he sent it to me as a sample. So now that we've got kind of all of this pretty much organized, I'm going to go ahead and start playing some of this stuff. Okay, so the audio was normalized, so everything is all essentially the same volume right now. There's no mixing at this point at all. And you can probably kind of hear that. There's stuff that maybe seems way too loud, other stuff that's not loud enough. The vocal, you couldn't hear it at all. You could kind of tell that there was a vocal there, but it was way in the background. And so now this is where the magic is going to kind of start a little bit, maybe not yet. So the first thing that I'm going to go ahead and do now, since it sounds like everything is there, this is my main vocal channel. I'm going to bring it up here above these other groups that I'm not going to be using. And because I've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 vocal channels that I've got to sort through, I'm going to duplicate this 7 more times so that they're all essentially the same. And I'm going to drop these vocal files into those channels. So I'm going to move by measure just so they all keep their place. Boom. Now they're all in a vocal channel that already kind of has compressors and limiters and some stuff like that. Now I'm still going to end up fine tuning all of that stuff. I'm not going to use it just the way that it falls into my template. I am still going to adjust all of those. But just for the sake of ease, they're going to at least have most of the plugins that I already use anyway. So now I can delete these empty tracks. And now if we choose one of these, okay, and so now I'm seeing the way that he's got these set up. So I believe this maybe was the very first one that we recorded. Maybe 2 was the next one. 3, 1, verse 4, verse 5. Okay, and this was 3 punch. So on the third take that we did, he started back over from here. If I was in the session, I would have just deleted that second part and just done like that. But he went ahead and, like a good engineer, he just kept it there just for me to listen to, make sure there's nothing there that I don't want to use. So we still will listen to that and see if there's anything good in here. Although when we were at the session, I probably would have just deleted it because I didn't think that there was anything usable there anyway. Even the client, like I said, you know, when we got this far, he stopped and he's like, let me do that second part again. And that's why we did the second part again through to the end. So I'll still check it out. I'll still listen to it, see if there's anything good. And then this is number 4, and then this is number 5. And then these are the punch-ins where we just did like the last part of each line. So you can see there's the end. So there's the silent spot here, right? And so these lines are ending here, but usually with the ends, I want to hold the notes out. So after we did all the takes, then I had him redo the last lines here. And so this one kind of is going to be replacing those. This one's going to be replacing those. And this one will be replacing the end there. So I know that I don't need that. I don't need that. And I can put these all on the same channel. So right now we're just kind of working out that stuff. So I want to go ahead and see if this section here, like I said, he ended up re-recording that second half here. I'm going to just listen to this because I don't believe that I'm going to end up using anything from this piece here anyway. But I do want to go ahead and just listen to that. So I'm going to mute all of these other vocal channel parts out. And I just want to hear this. Oh,